I'm totally not going to get off this thing and then play beer pong while I make some hot wings.
And that's how we start the show.
Fair enough.
I don't know why. I started it and then you started talking about beer pong and hot wings.
Hey, that's a good combination. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise.
Okay, so thank you everybody for joining us again, even though there's nobody here yet, but we expect you to watch this later as well. So, today we're just going to do a quick episode. We're just going to do a knit review and then a little bit of an announcement for upcoming episodes of The Radical Tangent. So, as one half of The Radical Tangent, I would like to say thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us for a few minutes. Probably a short episode today. Wild Tanuki, how are you today?
I am decent, actually. I've been cooking most of the morning and having a good old time watching Monty Python and whatnot.
That's great. Oh, wait, which Monty Python?
Holy Grail.
Of course. Okay, perfect. So, I've actually rewatched the Defiant Ones. I finished it yesterday, and then I restarted it again, like, immediately after, and that's what I fell asleep to.
That sounds really familiar. I'm sure I've watched it, I just can't remember.
It's that miniseries documentary on HBO about Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Have you seen it?
I watched part of it, not a whole lot of it.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's really definitely worth a watch. So, I actually just went and saw it today. I know you've seen it twice, so that is how I do. I go see a movie one time, like 20 minutes before we start. You watch it twice in the same amount of time that it's been out.
Yes.
I really.
I have to say though, me watching it like twice. I was drunk the first time, I was sober the second time, so it was like two different personalities watching it.
Yeah, well...
Both times, funny as fuck, though.
You know, and it's funny, because we kind of talked a little bit right before the show about the movie. And, there were parts in which I laughed at the movie. I mean, obviously, because you need those humor breaks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all horror movies have it. But this was, I don't know. I don't know how I felt about the movie. Just in general.
How do you not know how you feel about something you watched with your own eyeballs?
Because there's part of me that is... I liked parts of it, but I hated other parts of it. I hated, we talked about this a little bit before, too. The fucking jump scares. I know you didn't see them as jump scares, but that's how I felt about it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it was kind of leading, so it was kind of predictable, and that's why I didn't consider them jump scares. Like the whole scene where he's at the synagogue studying for his his bar mitzvah.
Yeah,
and then there's like the whole picture where it's kind of scary and shit, and then it's like, oh well, that's obviously gonna jump out and scare him.
Yeah,
it's just everything was forlorn, and for me, for a jump scare, it has to be like the music cues have to be up. But for this, it was like the entire atmosphere kind of revolved around it, and you knew it was coming long before anything else because everybody else was experiencing it.
Well, like there was a few parts where the jump scare aspect was there. Like, the main part about it for me was, if it was going to do something creepy, you kind of had a little bit of forewarning. I mean, you never know when it's going to come. Like, specifically. Like, is it going to come this second or this second? You know what I mean? But
well, that's innately the problem with jump scares, is that it's all build up.
Yeah.
It's like tension. And then, like, they do a cooldown and then release. Yeah. And I that's why I don't like jump scares ever in any movie. People should play more to the slowly creeping fear of your own mind and subconscious than they should with, like, oh, here's a cheap scare. Oh, here's a cheap scare. Here's a cheap scare. Because the psychological aspect is so much deeper, and people will remember that. And that's what makes a cult flick.
Well, I mean, like, look at The Exorcist back in the 60s and 70s. Was it 60s or 70s? 70s? I don't know.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, we got Daytoy in the chat. Hey, Daytoy, how's it going, buddy? Oh, I gotta get with you later. We gotta see when the next time you guys are doing your stream, because I want to come on that really badly, actually.
But I get the whole the drooling for Pennywise a little bit.
Yeah, I only noticed it really like specifically once, but I do agree that was a really good touch on their part.
Now, you've given your aspect of it where it's like it's mainly jump scares and didn't really mess with you. I have a completely different perspective of this film, which is it's one of my new favorite unintentional comedies.
Yeah.
Because some parts of it are just so over the top, I just laugh. And I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. Even when I was sober, believe it or not. Like, obviously, the part where the kid, like, ducks the first barricade, comes back up, and obviously he's seen the other barricades beforehand, so instead of, like, doing anything, he just, like, cracks his head right into the second one. And it gives such a satisfying thunk.
Yeah.
He's just, like, flat on his fucking ass. Oh.
You know, there were some improvements in this movie over some of the older one. I was never able to sit through the older one.
Well, it's very long is the problem.
Yeah. But my main criticism, or my main point for that is, I appreciate the better. What's the word? The better, like, graphics, I guess. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, though.
Graphics?
Like how everything looks more updated, and they're actually able to show Pennywise biting off Georgie's arm and stuff like that. Whereas back in the 80s, they couldn't do that because they just didn't have the capabilities at the time.
Yeah, I get that. I totally do. And yeah, that does play a role in it. That actually, whenever you're doing a reboot and you can bring up the image of what somebody was trying to make better, make it more accurate, make it more high definition. Well, not high definition, I suppose.
Yeah, special effects. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Daytoy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but I will always argue practical effects will always be 1,000 times better than any CGI that's out there.
Except for in one instance, which I already talked with you about. It's when they show Georgie towards the end and he's missing his arm. You can clearly see that it's kind of tucked into his side a little bit.
And yeah, he's got the prosthetics that's hanging out the side.
And I don't like that. I never have, I never will, because you can tell. Because either the person looks wider than they should, which is usually the case, or you can actually just see the arm draped across the belly. What I think that they should do is have them either paint their arm green or wear a green sleeve and do a CGI effect where you make the rest of the arm invisible and the stump all bloody and gross.
Yeah, and I gotta say, the stump was interesting, but when he started flailing around, I couldn't help it. I busted out laughing in the theater just because of, like, how neon the blood looked and how everything else was super dreary.
You know, one thing that I think that they did wrong was they should have used, because I know a lot of people are terrified of the what's that little crank thing, the Jack in the Box? People are terrified of those, and I know they're
actually you could argue that Jack in the Boxes are the original jump scare machine.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, because you crank the thing and you know what's coming, but you keep turning the crank and turning the crank and turning the crank, and finally it pops.
Yeah. You know, I've actually been hit in the face with one of those before when I was really, really little.
Did it have a boxing glove at the end of it?
No, it was a clown.
Missed opportunity. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, well, I was like 2, so that's actually something that I specifically remember from when I was a baby.
Well, I mean, when you get smashed in the face with a goddamn Jack in the Box.
But they really missed an opportunity with that to make it really fucking creepy or really fucking scary in some way. But instead it just pop and it's over. and then the backdrop breaks down or whatever. Yeah. They really missed an opportunity to really delve into the lore and the history of.
Well, I think the problem is that you have a deep understanding of that Stephen King universe.
Yeah.
While this is supposed to be kind of like a one-off.
But it's not.
It is, but it isn't. But you can argue that for a lot of fucking things.
I guarantee they're gonna tie it into the Dark Tower. I guarantee it.
Oh, what are my thoughts? Well, our thoughts on explaining the movies between the childhood aspect and the adult aspect. I think that was actually a good move.
Because, yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because otherwise you're gonna end up like a 3-hour movie where they're trying to cram way too much shit in.
Well, the problem is they would have ended up with a 4-hour movie. Because this one was 2 hours. This part alone.
Dude, it was 2 hours? Yeah, it did not feel like a 2-hour movie.
There were some parts where it did, and some parts where it didn't, but it was a lot packed into that 2 hours. It really was. There was a lot of
it had really good flow. Like you can say a lot of shit about this film, but it had really good flow for what it was.
You know, I forgot about that. This movie was actually, the book was even split into 2 parts. There was the childhood experience and then the adult experience. Yeah. And I forgot about that because after the childhood part, it in the book and the original movie or miniseries or whatever it originally was, it was boring for the first part of the adult part. So I never got I could never get past that.
Yeah,
it was built up and built up and built up, and then there's the climax, and then there's build up again.
Yeah, that would be like the problem of doing that with a book, where it's like it's almost like you have a secondary book that's within the same book. So you had to start out with the beginning, meander along, and all that.
You know, there are 2 books that I never finished on purpose, and it is one of them. And then the other one is, I think it's Red Dragon. I'm not sure though, but there's like 200 pages where they talk about Italian art in that fucking book.
That sounds exhausting.
It was fucking terrible. I mean, I get it. He was an art collector, like he worked at a museum in Italy. I get it, but
now that's one of those scenes that plays well in a movie, but does not play well in a book.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. Like, I liked the movie. I watched the movie and everything too. I hated it. I hated the fucking book. Because in a movie, you can skip over explaining everything and just say, paintings, statues, move on.
Yeah, they can give like a paragraph of dialogue and then go about their way. It's like, okay, yeah, you have this understanding of this specific subject. We'll talk on to this next subject.
But yeah, so back to it. There was another part where there's a leper, and the fact that he has a vagina in the middle of his face really bothered me. It looked tacky. You know what I mean? The one that chases the kid who's always worried about infections and things like that, chases him around in the backyard of the well house.
Yeah, didn't they swap that over to be just like him having a fear of clowns with Pennywise?
No, that was the one that he was the one that thought he was all badass.
That's right. That's the one. That was the kid from Stranger Things, right?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think that the entire movie was, overall, it was good. Will I watch it again? Probably.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this film.
I did too. I thought that the main problem that I had with it was the fact that they didn't build on the creepiness as much as they built on the boom, here's this creepy thing for 10 seconds and then it goes away. They could have built on the creepiness. Like, okay, here's a perfect example of the jump scare aspect. You know when the headless guy was walking down the stairs with all the eggs?
That was actually a mummy.
No, that was he was holding the eggs. He was supposed to be from the original Old Derry Ironworks that exploded. His head was in the tree.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that's what when he's flipping through that book and it's just a bunch of pictures of the tree, and then it shows the head. That was that guy.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's who that's supposed to be. And then it's walking down the thing and it's dropping the eggs, and I get that. Oh, that's creepy, that's great. And then all of a sudden it just like the music hits really hard, and then it just starts running at the fat kid.
Oh yeah.
That's not really a jump scare. Like a jump scare's when you don't see it coming and it's in the shadow, and then boom, it's right in your face. But it's that loud music. Excuse me. It's that loud, like hard hit of sound, and then the fast-paced music. I don't like that. It's stupid. You can build on the creepiness in general.
Now, a question would be, what movie would you say this one should take notes from?
That's really hard because it's been a long time since I've seen a really decent horror film.
Yeah, that's very true.
Well, I mean, when I was in my late teens, early 20s, horror films were like the thing that I did. I watched horror films. Me and my friends would get together. We'd watch horror films all the fucking time. I've seen hundreds, if not thousands, of horror films.
Okay, thousands?
Probably. Seriously.
I can't imagine there being thousands of horror films. It just feels like...
Okay, well, we're talking from like the 60s to the 2000s.
Yeah, I can't imagine there being that many horror films made.
The 2000s alone was a huge time for horror films, actually.
How many, during the 2000s, from 2000 to 2010, how many horror films were there made?
I don't know. I can look it up, see if there's an actual number. I mean, but you also have to figure, I'm talking about indie films and things like that, too. So those probably aren't going to be...
But I would think it would be in the hundreds, but not the thousands. Just from how much money it takes to actually produce a film, and the amount of effort and
time. Okay, so... Like, I just looked up the 90s, and there's a list, the 100 best horror film from the 1990s. So, I mean, if that tells you, there were probably a few hundred made just in the 90s. And the 80s was a big time for horror, too.
I mean, they had Count Blackula, for Pete's sake.
Well, I mean, and I'm talking about things like Chud, which Chud, it was supposed to be a horror film, but it ended up being just a fucking comedy, and we all know that.
Kind of like a Toxic Avenger.
Well, or Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, that is such an underrated movie.
Well, did you ever see the black version of that movie? There was an actual black version of it made. I
forgot. Had a black version of Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It was kind of... You got to go deeper than just saying the black version, because now I'm trying to figure out what the fuck that even means.
Wait.
Yeah. I mean, actually, B-rated horror films are some of my favorites. Like, I hate to say it, but one of my guilty pleasure films is Evil Bong.
What is the name of that fucking movie? Evil Bong?
Oh, yeah, dude. Evil Bong. They made 6 films. The production... Yeah, they had 6 films. The production budget was so low that instead of having, like, a thing that said beer... They took Coors Light, they put orange duct tape over it, and wrote beer on it.
I forget.
It's so fucking bad, but it's so fucking good.
I forget what the name of the. It was basically a killer clown movie, like not from outer space, but the entire cast was black, and the clown was a black guy playing a clown. It was in the 80s or maybe even the 70s. And
wait, was that time period where it's like they had every horror film, but they had a white version and a black version?
No, that's the 70s. And a little bit in the 80s, but mostly the 70s. So it's called, what is it?
Use your words.
Well, you had like Grindhouse, and Grindhouse kind of encompassed this other thing. Blaxploitation. It was called Blaxploitation.
That's the name of the movie.
No, that's the name of the film genre that you're talking about. There was a lot of films in that. It was hundreds of films, and they would have. That's where like Shaft came from and stuff like that.
Oh, but Shaft's so good.
Well, and then you also have like Jackie Brown is actually a callback.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's a great point. Deathbed, the bed that eats people. I have unintentionally made people watch that.
Wait, you unintentionally made people watch that, or you intentionally made people watch that?
Well, I intentionally made people watch it, and then I passed out while watching it. Like I drank so fucking much that it's like people ended up like, hey Tanuki, this is kind of dumb. Can we stop watching it? And they just couldn't stop watching it because I was just passed out asleep at my computer, and they just were forced to watch the whole goddamn film.
Oh, Jesus.
It's so fucking bad. Like, and if anybody doesn't know the premise of Deathbed, the bed that eats people, it is early in the early centuries. A knight was fighting a demon, killed the demon. The blood got on the bed. The demon possesses the bed. Thousands of years later, people fuck on the bed. The bed eats the people after they're passed out from fucking. The entire premise of that film.
Oh my god! Why would you make people watch something like that?
Because I'm a terrible human being. That's why.
Like, okay, so, I mean, we're talking about like.
Look! I saw that movie. I need other people to watch that movie so they can suffer like I did.
I'm not watching that movie with you.
That sounds like a challenge.
Okay, we'll put it this way. If I find a movie bad enough, I will make you watch it. If we'll do an even trade. How's that?
Okay. If you find a film as bad as Deathbed, the bed that eats people, we will both in sequence watch each other's bad film.
Oh, we'll watch them together, of course.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe not probably thousands, but it's possible it wasn't thousands.
Hey, man, you can't draw dicks through a computer because I was making people from like Europe, Denmark, Australia, people from all over the world watch Deathbed.
Okay.
They can't make dicks on my face if they can't reach through the computer screen.
Tanuki?
Yeah?
I'm moving probably in the same apartment complex as you.
Yeah.
I will draw dicks on your face.
Oh, no, you won't.
You will never know when I have a Sharpie in my pocket. Unless you're going to try and feel my balls.
I'll make sure you will never know when I have a knife in mine.
If you're asleep, it won't matter.
Considering I don't have a lot of people come to my apartment, that says something. I will know. Dicks drawing aside.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, so, Laura.
Laura Bones. How's it going? I miss Laura.
I was playing Destiny 2 with Laura earlier today.
Oh, you were? That's cool. I don't have Destiny 2, so there's none of that for me. Because fuck Destiny 2 and fuck PlayStation.
I'm not on PlayStation.
Fuck Xbox. Fuck them all. Fuck consoles. Consoles are gay. We're not having this conversation again.
Oh, it's on PC.
No, it's not. Oh, wait, yes,
Destiny?
it is. Yes, it is. Never mind. It's not just not on Steam.
Oh, God.
Oh, day trois. Bitcoin. This conversation is never intelligent. Don't even fucking lie to yourself. So, back to the movie. I don't know. I think that there were some parts that could have been done better.
Are you saying the quote unquote distraction scene should have been in there as well?
No, that's stupid. Although I do want to say, a lot of people gave the old movie a lot of shit because of the pedophilia type thing. They were all children, and it probably shouldn't have been added into the movie. And that's fine, that's whatever, but there's a lot of backlash recently based on the old movie. The fact that this movie basically screams pedophile says something about it. I mean, seriously, I thought that you can obviously tell the dad was fucking the daughter. The fucking creepy old guy was wanting to fuck the redheaded chick. Like, seriously, everybody was trying to fuck kids in this movie.
Well, it's supposed to be disturbing.
You can have disturbing without everybody wanting to fuck the girl. But seriously, I thought that the entire movie, I'm like, seriously, the pharmacist wants to fuck a little girl. The dad's probably trying to fuck a little girl or has fucked a little girl. There was like 2 or 3 more instances throughout this movie where I'm like, seriously, why? Everybody's literally trying to have sex with kids in this movie. Everybody.
No, they were trying to have sex with kids. They were trying to have sex with that specific kid. And you know what? I can chalk it up to like shitty writing where they're like, oh, she's kind of like a teenager, so we'll give it a pass. But at the same time, come on now. Having a girl in there, and even though she looks very grown up,
in comparison, yeah,
she has a very adult face and all that, but at the same time, this is a small town, and if there's one thing that anybody who's lived in a small town knows, it's that everybody knows everyone else, and that's just a given. So these people know, like, oh, this kid is like really fucking young. I should stay away from this as much as possible. Because as soon as they hear like, oh, I have pedophilic tendencies, you'll be extradited and you might as well just like either kill yourself or move out of that town.
Yeah, and everybody would know, especially living in an apartment in a small town, everybody would know if that dad was fucking that girl.
Yeah, exactly.
And that guy would be strung up in the middle of the street and nobody would say anything about it.
Yeah, the cops would just turn a blind eye at that point.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
Yeah, it would just be a mugging gone wrong or something. But I don't know. And I agree with Daytoy, actually. I don't understand why Bill got the girl in the movie. The fat kid should have...
Listen, that is set up as a love triangle right now.
But she moves to fucking Portland and comes back 27 years later.
Yeah, but the thing is that right now this is a remake. We don't know where the next film will go. It could go as an offshoot from the original.
I don't know. So
there's still potential because they left it up. It was up in the air by the end of the film as far as I saw it.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of was. I mean, because... you know, the fat kid was basically Prince Charming, and then the other kid was the guy that she was kind of into when she thought it was him that wrote the poetry.
And the thing is with, I believe it's Bill, who's brother to Georgie.
Yeah.
The reason why she found him attractive was his determination to keep trying to hunt for his brother. Well, which I understand. That's an attractive feature.
And his lack of fear in his leadership abilities, and I get it. So
I think it's up in the air. So until we see the end of this film, because honestly, it really is a film that's cut into 2 pieces.
No, it was two books put into 1, is what it was.
Oh yeah, that's true. But as is a book that's put into 2 pieces, this is a film that works better in both parts.
Yeah, it does. I think that they made a wise decision doing it this way.
Yes, absolutely. If they would have done it like a whole film, like you said earlier, it would have been like a 4-hour film, and everybody was just like, "This is way too fucking long for a fucking film." Because I have that same. I had that same feeling going into like Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, or it's just like this is a 3-hour fucking movie. I would rather they like cut it short again and made a fourth film, as opposed to have all this fucking content in one film, and they could have had time to like work things out, get things together.
Yeah, build up the plot some.
Yeah, instead of having like this extra fucking hour where it's just like kind of stagnant.
Yeah, and you know, so I keep going back and forth on this, and it's really driving me insane because, Red Royals is here and she's pissed.
Hey, Red, the moment you can punch me in the face, you can for Disney Lord of the Rings, because in all honesty, Lord of the Rings is kind of shitty, except for The Hobbit. The Hobbit is fantastic.
So, wait, are we talking the original Hobbit back in the 80s?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the original book, because I love the fucking Hobbit.
Okay, so here's how I feel about Lord of the Rings. Fuck that movie. Fuck that series. Fuck the Hobbit series. Fuck every movie that has come out recently from those fucking that fucking series. Fuck it. I hate them. They're stupid and fucking boring. Oh my god, I am pissing off everybody in our chat. Hi guys, I love you.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Shows is probably gonna be pissed at me too, but it's true. A lot of that stuff is really boring, but I really enjoyed the Hobbit book. That was one of the good memories I had from 7th grade reading it. Oh my god.
So, Datwa, have you seen Clerks 2?
Oh god.
Yes. I have made all of... Oh. I am pissing off everybody.
Shows is mad at me. Love you, Shows.
So look at this. They're all pissed off.
No, I clearly see it.
I love this. I am entitled to my opinion, but no, Clerks 2, that really does sum it up very well for me.
No, I get that. Yeah, Lord of the Rings is really not for anything. Not for everybody.
We have a mutiny on our hands.
They're trying to mutiny off our channel. That's not how this works.
Yeah, that's not how any of this works.
You come, you hear our shitty opinions, and get mad at us, and then yell at us later in private in DMs.
Well, and then you come back next time, and, well, you can't yell at us for those shitty opinions, because there will be more shitty opinions.
Oh, we'll be having words read. Oh, trust me.
Overall, let's go back to it. Overall, see, this is what I was meaning. I go back and forth on it. I hated it, but I love it at the same time, because I don't like the fact that there were jump scares, because there were. But I do like how creepy everything looked, and I like the feel of the movie in general.
Yeah, the atmosphere of the film was fantastic.
Now, that being said, how do you feel? Let's say you had to rate the movie 1 to 10.
I'd say about like a 7.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say a 7.
Yeah, it's definitely above average.
Oh yeah, by a good margin. The shitty part is we've seen a lot of movies this year. We've probably seen like 20 movies this year, right? That we've talked about.
Since January, yes.
The way I feel about this movie, it being slightly better than average for a movie, it's still in my top 5 favorite movies of the year.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's up there with like
King Kong,
Kong Island, and a few others.
Yeah, Skull Island was fantastic. Honestly, that's probably my favorite movie of the year. Although that will probably change, because there's 2 movies that I'm very excited to see this year. Actually, 3. Sorry. Wow. There are 3 movies that are coming out sometime within the next year, or within the next few months. One comes out. Shit, when does it come out?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about. I haven't named it yet.
Kingsman.
Kingsman comes out next week.
Okay, that one I'm very, very excited to see.
You and me both, man. I just bought Kingsman, the Secret Service. I just bought it for Blu-ray this past Friday. Oh man, that church scene. That church scene is beautiful. Yes, Red. Kingsman is amazing. I believe we had this conversation where it's just we both decided it's like James Bond but better.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so the other movie that I'm really, really excited for is The Last Jedi.
Yeah, I'm interested. You know, I used to be really excited for Star Wars films, but it's kind of dropped off in recent years.
You know, a lot of people, I don't know if you've heard, but J.J. Abrams is coming back for the one after this one.
Lens flares galore.
So I'm not sure how I feel about that. A lot of people were really pissed off at the way that he went with the last one, and I get it. It kind of rehashed some of the old stuff from the older movies. I get it. But I don't think it was so bad. I don't think that it was...
Okay, it wasn't bad, but at the same time, the reason he did it that way is because that movie, as sad as it is to say, that wasn't for us. That movie was for all the younger children who've never had a chance to experience Star Wars before. That was for them.
Yeah.
They get to see this giant world that they haven't experienced yet. So when you think of it this way, think about the first time you ever saw A New Hope. And you see it for the first time, and you see Anakin just down on Tatooine, just hopeless. And you get to see that in Rey. Does it suck for a long-time fan? Absolutely. But this is a new market for fans people who have not even become fans yet. For the kids of a new generation. And that's the market they're really looking for.
I just hope they don't continue that, rehashing old storylines.
Yeah, okay. If they keep rehashing old storylines, then that's sad. Because you can get them with this movie with the old storylines, but once you move on from there, you need to tell original stories because they can go back and watch the original series like, oh my gosh, all these original stories are fantastic. And then we have all these new stories to look forward to. And then they find out the expanded universe doesn't count, and then everybody gets pissed off.
Yeah.
Except for the anti-Force Weasels. We're not going to talk about that.
The what?
Oh.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
The anti-Force Weasels. Like they're these weasels that would stop the Force in the expanded universe books, and so the stormtroopers would wear suits with these creatures that lived in them, and that way the Jedi's can use the Force against them.
We're not going there. Moving on. So they're talking about Rogue One in the chat. Here's how I felt about Rogue One. Rogue One was okay, but it was drawn out and it was kind of boring. There were a couple good scenes in it, but the middle part was just kind of there.
That's that I fell asleep. Could have been like a half hour shorter.
I fell asleep during it.
I saw it with my dad, so I couldn't fall asleep.
I didn't watch it in theaters though, but I don't think I would have liked it in theaters. I think I would have felt like I got ripped off. So let's do our little announcements, kind of updates on the direction.
Well, I guess final thoughts on it.
Oh, final thoughts on it. I wish they would have played up the creepiness a little bit more. It was pretty good overall. I mean, I think that the movie definitely does. It catches my interest and it makes me want to see more from this specific universe. The It universe, that's it.
Yeah, I feel that if they would have played more towards the fear of things, like people's natural instinct to fear things that are unknown, then it would have been a much better film.
Yeah.
So I really love this film, and I'm not really a horror guy. There's very few horror films I actually enjoy, but I really enjoyed this one.
I'm really looking forward to see what they do with the second one, with the adult version of this movie, basically. I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I really liked it. Definitely going to be so far in my top 5.
Yeah. Well, top 5 for this year.
For the year, yeah, of course. Not of all time. This movie doesn't even come close.
Shows, is this film worth watching? Yes. Yes, it absolutely is.
Yes, it definitely is. It is definitely worth watching. I mean, considering Tanuki went and saw it twice.
Yeah, normally if I go see something drunk, I can make a fair assessment on my own. But to go back and watch it sober again, that actually says something. Because that means I actually want to give it a really good, fair opinion. Yeah. Because I thought it was worth watching again.
So, well, I mean, although I did make you go through and watch Ghostbusters sober because I did it.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Cocksucker.
Oh, actually, Bill Skarsgård actually did a pretty good job as Pennywise, for the most part.
Oh God, yes.
So.
No, okay, Red. I'm not gonna make you watch it. You don't have to. I know you have a fear of clowns. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you don't have to see it. Although it is a good movie overall, but a fear of clowns can kill this movie for you, or it can heighten the. I guess it could heighten the way that it's supposed to feel. But I think it's some people just can't get that. Can't get over that. The fear peaks out too high.
I get that.
So I understand it. It makes sense. So, we do have a little bit of an announcement, kind of an update on where things are going with the show. Do you want to talk about it, Tanuki?
Yeah, we're actually trying to work on a format a little bit more, trying to figure out how we want to go about it. I feel like whenever we do watch a new film, instead of that being the high-end highlight of it, we'll just do an individual show just talking about it, short, sweet, to the point, our thoughts on it, all that. And then we'll do
to the point. We're 42 minutes in right now.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, we do have the whole we get off on random tangents, as is in the name. But we want to do things where it's we give our full focus on reviewing something, and then it's there are these updates on things or topics we want to talk about. There was a thing about free speech that we saw that we felt we had strong feelings for. So we wanted to talk about that a little bit. And we kind of want to branch off a little bit more past pop culture and talk more about different subjects that we feel passionate about or we have thoughts about. So Go ahead. So we're going to branch more out into that realm. And we'll have more people on that kind of have opinions on that we want to hear their thoughts on it.
Yeah, we're that was what I was actually going to say is we want to try and get more guests on, but it's hard to get guests to go see a movie and spend their own money to go see a movie and then come back to us to do something for free for us. So, I mean, it's not like any of the people that we would ask to come on would expect to be paid to come on. That would be ridiculous, mainly because we ask our friends, things like that. But we do want to bring some people on. We still have to bring Rational Shitlord back because we do have an entire, probably hour and a half long conversation if it's just us three. But we want to bring somebody else on in that episode.
And we're not going to mention it right now, but you'll see who it is later on.
Yeah, but mystery guest, hopefully.
That's going to be a very, very long episode, we're assuming.
Yeah, I don't even know if we can call that an episode, really. But, and eventually, probably around the beginning of the year, middle of January, maybe February or beginning of February, we want to try and go do an actual schedule at least, 2 times a week?
Well, I think we should definitely work towards figuring out a good time slot for once a week, and then once we figure out the once a week,
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that's the eventual goal. I mean, it's not set in stone or anything, but I would like to get to that point, and hopefully make this something interesting that, you know, you guys want to come back and watch us, and that we still want to do. Because honestly, just talking about movies all the fucking time, I mean, it's okay. It's just that there's other things that we want to talk about too. And limiting ourselves only to, you know, pop culture really does limit the entire idea of where we want to go. Am I right?
Yeah. I've seen some things recently where it's just like, I really want to talk about this, but I don't really have any idea where to go with it.
Yeah, and the way that you and I kind of bounce off each other, and we, you know, we banter and talk shit to each other, and that's fun, and I like doing that. But we also can bounce ideas off each other and, you know, have that good dialogue, which I'm hoping that people are enjoying and will continue coming back for.
And hopefully we can get more people to come on and talk with us.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the plan. Oh yeah, we do have to have Laura Bones on.
Yeah.
I mean, she was probably like our second subscriber, so.
Probably wouldn't surprise me. I'm sure if any of you have a thing you want to watch, right now we have kind of a hectic schedule, and we won't get back to you right away. But if there's something that you're interested in that's coming down the pipeline, let us know, and we'll try to work a schedule around it so you can come on and talk about it.
Yeah. And then, so next week we will be having a show on, I don't know what my schedule looks like, but it will be by Thursday. We will have a show, we'll have a review of Kingsman. And then I think sometime within the next few days, we're actually going to just have a show, just us talking. We'll try and line up a fun guest for everybody to come on and talk about something.
You'll see.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So I think that pretty much wraps everything up. Do you have anything else you'd like to talk about?
I'd like to say that I appreciate everybody who's watching right now, and everybody who's watched in the past, and all the people who will watch in the future. We're trying to figure this out. This is new to both of us because this is not really our deal.
Yeah.
And we deeply appreciate all of you for being patient with us.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that, and we love you guys. We want you to know that we will keep doing this, and we will keep annoying the shit out of you and telling you how bad Lord of the Rings sucks. I had to do it. I couldn't help it.
Well, that's kind of how we do.
Okay, so I think
you find the weak point and you apply the pressure.
So, with that being said, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Do you want to say bye to the people, Subby?
Bye, people.